Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day belong, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and there's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who, to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day. It's a long
What's
day.
up, everybody? Welcome to a very special edition of Long Days with Yannis Pappas. Sitting across from me is old Joey left in a basket. Old Joey this or that. Old Joey, is he Italian? Yes, he is. The benefits are better. Now, your life is kind of like a black celebrity's in that you're in a lot of things, right? You're an entrepreneur. You own a restaurant. You're starting a clothing line.
Know that.
You're a comedian and a musician.
All those are true except the clothing line.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to throw that in there to make you a little bit more.
I did design a lot of the merch for the bar that I opened for
Yes.
Joey Rose's.
You're a what do they say? Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, I mean the nicer way to say that is Renaissance man.
It's not as funny.
I know it's not.
It's not as funny.
I know.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, dude. The last time I was in this place,
You were banging a chick. I gave you the keys and I said, use it.
I almost rented this from you.
Did you?
Yeah.
What?
How do you not remember this shit?
Because my memories of you, I just get overwhelmed by. I just get overwhelmed by you complaining, and I just kind of tune out halfway through.
Dude, by the way, speaking of complaining, I can already tell the heat's going to be a problem.
Yeah, the heat's going to be a problem. Yeah.
Why can't we leave the ceiling
Dude,
fan on?
your genetics are from Egypt. This is your. That
makes that much
speed.
noise that you can't leave that
It makes
on?
that much noise. I mean, listen. You're lucky you got into America. You could be living somewhere in Cairo on the street with no shoes.
Listen to me. I'm declaring it right now because I'm about to start my solo pod. And I'm
What's that going to be about? Star Wars games or some
yeah,
esoteric interest you have?
Basically, yeah, it's about like collecting like all my interests. Yeah.
You're one of those
Yeah,
guys who's fucking into cool shit.
I like fun stuff.
Yeah.
But wait, let me just say though.
Yeah.
Every podcast, the sound bed of every podcast should be air conditioning buzz. Can't these fucking fans get used to it? They can't get past it by now? We all got to sweat every time we do this?
It's a good point.
Every podcast should just have air conditioning buzz in it. And it's just, that's what it sounds like.
Now, do you go air conditioner or fan?
Oh, dude, AC, dude. AC in the winter.
Ukraine or Russia?
A little bit of both, to be honest.
Biden or Trump?
I like them both.
Okay.
No, dude, I run so hot, dude. I crank AC in the wintertime, dude.
Yeah.
I'm always hot.
You make a good point because the rest of the set is pretty bare bones. It's pretty stripped down. I mean, we're in an apartment. If there was a little air conditioner buzz, I don't think we're ruining the professionalism of this setup.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
dude. And if you don't want buzz, go to SiriusXM for your content. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking got green screens hung up in his kitchen. What the fuck what are we doing? Turn the AC on.
Now, I did call you Joey Lefts in the Baskets because that was one of my favorite jokes that I made, and it was by text, and it deserved to be seen by people. One time I called you Joey Left in the Basket.
Oh, yes.
Because you were adopted. Now, we were talking about you were adopted into Italian family, which is now what you identify as.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we started. Like, my Instagram says Arab on some Italian shit. Like, because I identify as Italian American. That's how I was raised. That's all I knew. I was adopted at 9 days old. I don't know anything. I never met another Arab person till I was like 18.
So then why do you look like you do the door at CBGB's?
You could never tell if that guy was Arab or Italian.
You could never tell. You could never tell. Now,
Joe Mattery said to me once when I first came to New York.
On medication or off?
I don't know. Who knows these days?
Yeah.
This was a long time ago. This might have been pre-meds.
Ooh,
But-
that's a long day right there. Yeah.
But he goes. You got a great look, man. It's gonna be good for acting. Which, I guess he was wrong. But
No, he was kind of right.
I do some stuff, but
I mean, a lot of people don't know because it's a small role and you got a generic face, but you've been in Better Call Saul.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And my
And you've done other shit,
My
too.
character's name on Saul was Caldera, which I think is Hispanic, no?
Caldera?
I never asked. I don't do any research. I
We-
just show up and say the lines.
Well, we have a Hispanic here just for moments like this. Is that Hispanic?
I believe it is, yes.
Yeah. Jared Harvin.
I got in back when a Arab posing as an Italian could play a Hispanic without controversy. They would have burned me alive in this day and age.
Now, what's the other version of Joey looks like that never had talent? Because not only there's another version of you that could be in Cairo. There's another version of you that if you didn't have any talent, you're very talented. You've always been one of my favorite comedians who kind of like, does comedy when he wants.
Thanks.
And if you didn't have talent, there's another version of Joey Derosa,
Right.
who's just living out there in South Philly with his
Yeah.
friends with Philly hats, getting Wawas, just being utter trash.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that was most likely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm teetering on it. I'm a fucking pig. I'm such a fucking pig. The only one that outpigs me is that fucking louse DiStefano. He's the only one that outpigs me in this business.
And how does he outpig you? Oh,
He's
you
a-
mean in that way?
I just mean he's a disgusting human being. He's horrible. He's fucking trash, dude.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think he's a great guy.
Who the fuck was I talking to the other day that was trying to? Oh fuck! Who
Probably
was-
Ari.
It was Ari.
Yeah.
It was Ari.
I'm just going by your
I
Instagram
just
posts.
yelled at him. It was on. He came on Taste Buds. You got to
Yeah.
do Taste Buds, by the way.
I'd love to do
But
it.
he came on Taste Buds, and I go, "You're fucking trash. You live in squalor. You make me sick." But no, I'm a fucking animal.
There
dude.
is one good thing about
Yeah.
Ari. He did what did he do? What do they call that when you get your glue taken out?
Vasectomy.
He did give himself a vasectomy so he doesn't reproduce, which is a good thing he did.
You know what? I'm thinking about doing that too. Because
I think that'd be a good idea.
yeah, I'm going to be a bachelor for life, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I just the week after sounds mildly horrific to me,
Yeah.
and that freaks me out.
Right. And you don't want any accidental pregnancies? That's tough now
No,
when
no,
you're
no,
a
I mean the
comic.
week
'Cause if
after
you
the
do, you
procedure.
do have a kid by accident, you may have to have that kid depending on the state you knock the girl up in.
Well, I mean, but also too. I mean,
Are you currently in prison or are you free man right now?
no, I'm always a free man. Oh, I see
You know what I'm
you mean.
talking about.
We can
Are you
talk
doing a
about
bid?
it.
Yeah, are you doing a bid?
We can
Joey is constantly
hold on, whoa.
in and out of the system.
Hold on. We both were at one point.
Both were at one point. Yeah.
No, so Yannis used to say, we used to joke about when if you had unprotected sex, the 2 to 22. Every pamphlet says you got 2 to 22 days for for whatever it is to pop up that you might have caught. So we used to always laugh. He was the only guy I knew that knew the time frame besides me. So we would always go 2 to 22. And then we would start going, are you on one? Are you
doing a bid?
I'm doing a 2 to 22. And then he started calling it a bid. You doing a bid? And then I started saying, I was like, I'm always doing a bid. Dude, I don't even know how to live on the outside anymore. The inside's my home, dude.
Yeah. Every time I run into Joe, he's just like, yeah, I'm right in the middle of one right now. You know? It's like day 6. It's like constantly living with getting a positive COVID test. You're
Dude,
like, I'm on day 7.
The first time, you remember the first time you sat and you had to go like, shit, 22 days? It
Oh
felt
my
like an eternity.
God.
And then eventually you're like, that's nothing.
Yeah, get old. Yeah, it's like Shawshank Redemption. You get used to the inside.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah, you start to just like live a normal life and just like be able to have normal conversations. Whereas the first couple of bids, you can't even live in the moment. You're just constantly worrying. Every time you take a piss, you're giving yourself a detailed inspection.
Yeah. Dude, Jimmy Hoffa said about actual prison, and it was fascinating. There's an interview that he did with Dick Cavett when he got out of jail. He was in for 5 years. And Dick Cavett said, that's fairly like lengthy. He's like, can you, how would you survive if you had to do like true hard time, like life? And Hoffa said that the only way to do it is to divorce yourself completely from the outside. He goes, you cannot have visitors. You cannot receive letters. You have to accept that this is what your life is, because otherwise you'll go crazy. And I was like, holy shit, man. I never thought of it like that. Like, you got to tell your mom you can't come see me ever again.
Yeah.
Like,
that makes sense.
Fucking, it's heart-shattering.
Yeah, because you just divorce yourself. You disavow yourself from all reminders of what could be.
Yes, that's what he said. He goes, you cannot pretend you are part of what's going on out there.
That's why what you got to do as a comic is you got to stay away from anyone who's more financially successful than you.
Dude, seriously,
Yeah, because that's a constant reminder that it robs your joy.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why it makes me happy that my richest friend is Sal, who still lives like a fucking Staten Island animal.
Yeah. Yeah, those Staten Island kids, they're like institutionalized.
Yeah, dude, it's weird out there. They got a way of life out there.
Yeah, it's like taking a fish out of water, like, because you can't go anywhere. Like, especially Sally grew up with sisters, so he has like a slightly effeminate cadence.
Yeah.
So he can't carry that. You can't go anywhere in the country without people going, yuck.
I know, it's disgusting.
You can't go to Europe and be like, hey, how you doing? I'm a multimillionaire on a prank show. How you doing? My name is Sal Vulcano. They're like, get out of here. The plumbing situation is that way. I mean, he sounds like a plumber.
Yeah, I mean, dude, but you're absolutely right. So a friend of mine, Karen Kilgariff, from the My Favorite Murder podcast, before she was extremely wealthy and successful, we were both struggling. And I go, Karen, I can't. I'm so fucking depressed out here. She goes, stop going to your friends' houses that live in mansions.
Yeah.
She goes, you can't. You're carrying that home with you, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're right. I can't. It's fucking driving me nuts, man. And
yeah.
It feels like something you should be able to do and zen and all that bullshit. But if you're struggling and you're always at somebody's house and they got gates and shit, forget it, dude. You can't do it.
That's why Ari's a good hang, because Ari's very successful and has money, but he doesn't want any of it, and he throws it all away. He doesn't live like it, and he gave himself a vasectomy, and he grows his hair out to look worse.
Yeah.
I mean, he hurts his career all the time. He doesn't do social media. He doesn't want fame. He doesn't want to have a blue check mark next to his name. He's a man of the people.
He thinks doing like a sitcom is like suicide.
Yeah.
Like he thinks this is the life, which I understand. I'm not knocking him for it. I don't agree, but I get it where he's coming from. But yeah,
really? You?
What's that?
I would think you would have the opposite opinion of that.
Of what?
You don't seem like a guy who wants a sitcom.
I did a sitcom. I booked a sitcom when I lived in L.A. A multicam sitcom.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be on 10 episodes. They cut my character after the first episode because Me Too was about to drop, and I played an office perv. And we were scratching our heads. We were like, what? This is a true story. I booked the part. I'm playing the office perv. Aside from the main character, I was the main character in the pilot.
Right.
I was his adversary. And Andy Ackerman, who's like the Scorsese of sitcom directing, like Seinfeld, Frasier, like he's got it all under his belt. He was directing it, and the network, and it was on CBS, and a guy named Les Moonves, who was the head of CBS.
Yeah.
He was the one that gave me the part. It had to go up the ladder. And when they called me and said, you got the part, they said, Les Moonves saw your tape. He fucking loves it. He thinks it's hilarious. You're in. And I was like, holy shit, my life's about to change.
What year was this?
2017, maybe.
Oh, okay. So you were living in a delusion.
What do you mean?
2017, I don't think a sitcom is going to take off at the time.
No. The money.
Oh, yeah.
10
money.
episodes?
Yeah.
I was coming off of my special.
Yeah.
I was like, this is it. This is the year my life
Gotcha.
changes. I buy the house.
Yeah.
I root in L.A., the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so we start rehearsing for the pilot, and there's a bunch of female executives at CBS at the time, and they were so mean to me. like just callous. Like I'd see them and smile, and they would just act like I wasn't there.
And usually you're a very good fucking schmoozer and networker.
I got a nice schmooze.
You're fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I watch you talking to some of those executives, and I go, "How is he paying attention?"
Yeah.
You do it.
I got a nice schmooze.
Yeah, you fucking you make them feel like they're worth something.
But dude, they just didn't like me.
Yeah.
They just didn't like me, and they would in meetings. Andy Ackerman would talk to me after meetings, and he'd be like, "Yeah, they're complaining all through the meeting again today that your character's not likable." And I said, "Well, I guess we did our fucking job then. He's not supposed to be likable."
Right.
And we were scratching our head. Everybody was like, "Dude, the character's so funny. You're doing such a good job. Why are they being so hard on you?" And then we shot the pilot. Pilot got picked up. If I'm a huge part of that pilot, obviously, like I
get a little money.
I did something right. You know what I mean? 2 weeks before we start production on series, they call me. My friend was the showrunner. He came to my house in almost tears, and he goes, "I don't know how to tell you this. They're cutting your character," and they made me come over here and do it.
Oof.
And it was brutal. They sent Sheeran in to smoke kaffa. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And they
lot less historically important, but I get the
zero important.
Yeah. You went really hard on that
I just
analogy.
was trying to say a
Then
friend.
they brought George Washington in to tell
Saying they made his friend kill him in the movie.
Yeah.
The difference is no one cared when you went missing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nobody gave a shit. But yeah, so I was like, what the fuck? And dude, so first call I get that night, I get the news, and then that night I get a text. Sarah Gilbert, she was on it. She was like, "Joe, you're gonna be okay. You're fucking great." All this, right? Jay Ferguson, who was the star, he hits me from Mad Men. He's like, "Bro, what the fuck? You know, like this is nuts. This is bullshit." David Krumholtz from All Types of Shit, he hits me. I'm like, these motherfuckers are like real actors, and they're hitting me and saying this doesn't make sense. What the fuck is going on? And then fucking Me Too hit like a month later. And Moonves was one of the fucking poster guys that went down. He apparently had a chick on staff just to blow him. And obviously these female, in my theory, was these female execs were like, this character is our fucking boss.
Right.
And that's why they didn't like me. Because I was basically playing this guy they hated, I think.
Right.
And it's so funny, dude, when you think back and they go, Les Moonves loved your tape. You got the job.
You're like, of course he did. Yeah. You know, so much, especially, it's still now. It's still about timing, but so much in show business is about timing.
Yeah.
Like, I would say so much doesn't even do it justice. It's like, it's the whole thing. Like that sitcom is 2016, 15. You get your money, you get your check. Maybe it takes off. It's 2012, 2006.
I remember I was sitting in a bar with Jay Ferguson, and we were waiting to hear.
How many more names are you going to drop in 5 minutes?
I already dropped his.
Oh, okay.
I'm dropping.
That's
I'm
okay.
redropping.
Okay. You've hit your limit. I think you can only do 10 per podcast.
I was sitting in a bar with him.
Yeah.
It was 2 days after we shot the pilot. We were waiting to hear if it got picked up.
Yeah.
And we were drinking, and this was like his fifth fucking rodeo.
Yeah.
You know, he was on a bunch of series. And we were sitting in the bar, and I just very passively go, "Jay, I live in this apartment." And he goes, "We're going to fucking change that this year." And I was like, "Here we go, dude. Here we go. I'm buying a fucking house finally." Cut to 2022. I still don't own a fucking house. I'm still renting an apartment worse than the one I was renting when I was sitting with him in the bar. Fuck.
Show business, baby.
This is just brutal, dude.
But you got things are going good. You have a successful podcast.
Yeah. 2 successful podcasts.
Two. What's the other one?
We'll See You in Hell, which is movie reviews that I do with Pat Walsh, but that's Patreon only, but it's great. The fans
You've had that for a while.
Yeah, the fans are amazing.
I remember that one.
It's doing very well.
I remember you telling me you've had that for years.
I'm proud of both my podcasts, but I'm very proud. I'm especially proud of We'll See You in Hell, given the fact that Pat and I, we put that out at a time when podcasts were not making money.
Yeah.
And we muscled through 5 years of not making a dime
Yeah.
So it really, we earned what we're making. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And Taste Buds, I'm not saying we don't work hard or anything like that, but it was a little bit easier,
Right.
obviously. But like,
But how were you able to do it? Get Taste Buds off the ground so much easier.
I mean, I think because I'm popular enough that it just kind of took off.
I
You know?
think that. Yeah, I think your popularity helped a little bit.
What does Sal do something besides podcasts?
I think I heard. I think I've heard he's done a few arena tours or two.
That's so fucking
Yeah.
funny. No, that was the.
I love Sal's.
Gives you a little bit of a head start.
Yeah, because Sal's show was great. It was like the Disney version of prank shows.
Yeah, it was like a Jackass that was like without I watch. You can watch Jackass with your family, but it's Joker's is like family friendly Jackass, meaning you're not going to see any shit or dicks or anything.
It was like a very family friendly prank show, because prank shows on the internet are like, they've gotten so popular.
Yeah.
It's like I tweeted the other day, it's dangerous to go outside because the chances of you running into a prank show are getting exponentially high. I mean, dude, and
so
they
funny.
do dangerous shit. Like they'll like walk, like there's this one guy who's like really popular. You ever see him? He just walks up to dudes in the hood and he's like, "What's up? What's up? Like, you want something?" And like, dude, they're always like, and they
Wait to see if they'll hit him.
yeah, to see if they'll hit him. And
it's
like,
popular.
yeah, it's so, and there's so many.
Does he get hit?
I think like most things on the internet, including Jake Paul's boxing career, it's a little bit set up. You know, it's a little like, "Hey man, I'm gonna walk up to you. There's a prank show. Here's $100. Just do this." That's probably what it is.
There's a kid. I forget his name. He's wildly popular on TikTok though. He goes up to he has like a tube and he puts it in people's ear when they're not. Yeah, and he goes,
Ucha mama papi or whatever.
Yeah.
Chupapi moment.
Yeah. To me, I feel like
those early ones, or you can tell
are as
real,
good as the
and then
Larry
you-
David show. I was about to say the same thing.
Oh, yeah. But you can tell the early ones are real. Then they start. You're like, that's fake.
Yeah.
But that's a kid where I'm like, this is bad for society. It's fucked up what he's doing. He deserves to get the shit kicked out of him, and it makes me laugh harder than anything I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in my life.
that's
Like,
the problem with
so funny.
prank shows, and they're also popular. You can go to anyone who does a prank show. If you go to YouTube, it's popular because much like car crashes, you got to rubberneck. You got to take a look. You got it because it's like this bad thing could happen, and we all tune in to be like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? So they're basically entertainment's car crashes.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I blame what was the one from before Vine? I blame Vine. I think Vine is when the dam cracked.
What was it? 8 seconds you had to make your point.
6.
6 seconds. Yeah.
And that's where everything started. Where people started doing these videos where they would just get in your car and people would be like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" You know?
Yeah.
Because there's only so much you can do in 6 seconds to get people's attention, obviously.
Yeah.
And I blame Vine. And that whole thing, when that broke open, I was like, this is not going to go well. And now TikTok has further amplified it.
Yeah, TikTok, I further amplified, I think, is an understatement. They've kind of taken over the TikTok paradigm of 1 minute has taken over. Has conquered the internet. So YouTube is now doing and prioritizing the minute reels. Instagram has now switched over to become like TikTok to compete because TikTok sucked us in so much that now it's forced the other popular social media content sites to do the same thing that TikTok is doing.
I'm actually thinking of I'm launching a new podcast, like I said, called Down with Joe. It's a relaunch of an old podcast, but it's a new format called Down with Joe DeRosa. But
so what is that a pun? Down with Joe DeRosa?
Or? You're down with me.
Yeah.
Let's we're gonna highlight all the shit that I like, you know what I mean?
Got it.
Let's be friends, you know? But and yeah, it's also a pun on down with, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's
come on down with me into the depths of depression with Joe DeRosa. But we'll also talk about Star Wars paraphernalia.
But I'm honestly toying with not. I keep saying I'm going to launch a YouTube channel with it. I'm thinking about maybe not. Like, thinking about maybe just doing audio and putting the video up on Patreon and not even getting into this YouTube game, because this shit of them just. I mean, YouTube's been very good to taste buds, and that's where it will always be. I assume. You know, I wouldn't betray that, but. I don't know, man. You talk to guys and they're like, yeah, they just won't let me monetize my videos. I don't know why, whatever the fuck it is. Like, you know, people get pulled. I got 2 videos this week pulled off of TikTok that got banned for content.
What was in the content?
I have a joke about ride shares. I go, do you ever not give 5 stars? Why is there even an option? I give 5. The guy could be firing a Glock. The guy could be driving against traffic on the freeway, firing a Glock out the window. I'm like, 5 stars, man. I don't know what kind of day he's having. I don't want to get anybody deported. He was probably a doctor where he lived, you know? Yeah. And then I go, unless when I'm getting out of the car, the guy goes, give me 5 stars. Then I'm like, you fucking cocksucker. You're going back to wherever the fuck you came from. Half a star. And they banned it because I said you're going back to wherever it's...
yeah, it's so random.
You clicked a lot of boxes there.
Yeah, it's
the immigration.
Probably, yeah.
But the outrage is so selective. It's very funny. It's really is hat in a strip club type of morality.
Yeah,
especially coming from TikTok.
Yeah, I know.
I follow 3 girls who do yoga.
Yeah, I know.
Yoga. They're like, we're yoga, and then like the camera's just set up right below their pussy, and they're just like stretching.
It's wild, man. Yeah. It's wild. But I had a lot of heat on me this week on TikTok. My web guy put up a clip from 2012 of me making fun of nurses, and it fucking cracked open. That bit has been posted so many times online, including during the pandemic. A couple people bitched. Most people thought it was funny. Whatever the fuck it was this week, last week when this thing went up, it caught fire, dude. They're review bombing Joey Rose's, my bar. They're leaving fake 1-star reviews and shit. It's fucked up. So
now are you sure those aren't O&A fans?
No, I'm good with the O&A fans. Yeah. So by the way, if you feel like leaving a 5-star review at Joey Rose's, I'd appreciate it to counteract these angry fucking troll nurses.
What are they saying in the anger? They're just going, "Fuck you." Yeah. Nobody's got
in the reviews.
When they're doing the quote videos or whatever.
Oh, dude, so it started with hate comments, then it turned into hate messaging, DMs or whatever. Then they started doing reaction videos to the fucking thing. They started doing reaction where they're watching it and giving me the fucking finger as they're watching it. That starts going around TikTok. People started texting me going, dude, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. This
video is getting Emily, who runs the social media stuff for We'll See You in Hell, and she's great. She texted me. She goes, dude, there's a video of you going around TikTok, and not in a good way.
Right.
Like, you might want to look into this.
In more of an Andrew Tate way.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do.
Well, what exactly do you say in the bit?
I say,
this is the moment our video gets limited monetization.
Yeah.
Say these fucking nurses, you bunch of whores. Women shouldn't be working.
Yeah, bye-bye Grubhub.
I go, 3 went up. One was about, they don't care. They're walking around the street with their scrubs on. I go, these same scrubs, they're tending to you. They're where they tend to you in the hospital. I go, yeah, like it's go be a germ magnet and then come into the fucking hospital. I go, if you had a butcher that you saw walking around the neighborhood in the bloody apron, you'd be like, I'm not going to that guy. That's gross. So that was the first one, and that was a lot of like, fuck you, asshole. Like we don't have time to change at work, or we have to come in I forget what it was. Then I did one about hot nurses, where I go, where did the myth of hot nurses come from? Yeah. I've never met one in my life, whatever. By the way, I was wrong on that. I've been getting a lot of messages from nurses. There's a shitload of hot nurses. Yeah. Anyway, so then that one got a lot of like, fuck you, I'm not here to be hot. How dare you sexualize a profession or whatever. But I didn't. It's a part of a bit where I go, it's like the hot cop fantasy. Right. It's like which also got released as a clip and got no bad feedback, where I say, I've seen a lot of female cops. You know what they look like? Male cops. That got nothing.
Yeah.
That got nothing.
Well, you're a
The
white man.
cops
dressed
were
as a cop.
nicer to me than the nurses were.
Yeah, because the cops actually have a real job.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm just joking, nurses. Jesus
But-
Christ. Can anyone take a fucking joke
well, wait.
anymore?
The joke that set everybody off, though.
Yeah.
The one that set everybody off. I said, nurses don't really know shit. That's why you die at the hospital. And I go, do you ever wonder why so many people die at the hospital? I go, that's the nurses. I'm joking.
Right.
I'm fucking joking. Right?
I know.
And I go, the problem is the specialist, the doctor says, come on in, we need to do some stuff. And then you go in, and he works on you for maybe 2 hours, and then he leaves you with nurses the rest of the time. And I go, that's like taking your car to the shop and saying to the mechanic, hey, my car's broken. Work on it for an hour or two, and then let the receptionist fuck around with it for a week. And, dude, they went sideways,
I
dude.
know, I
I'm
know.
like, guys, it's a fucking joke, man.
Jesus.
Like, and it was a lot of how dare you after this pandemic, what we've been through.
Oh, God.
And people think that you shot this yesterday.
Yeah.
They don't like. There's so many. Like you've been there with this shit. Like
yeah, I got a big one. My biggest one was Black Twitter went after me. Did you ever hear about this one?
No.
So I tweeted, it was during the pandemic. I said, if you call it a stimmy check, you're definitely getting sneakers with it. And fucking Black Twitter went ape shit. They it was like, it was endless. I had to erase the tweet just because my notifications wouldn't fucking stop. And it was funny because all these sneaker sites it was a funny thing because all these sneaker sites had taken the tweet and were putting it up, like screenshotting it and putting it up on Instagram, like all these laughy faces and all that stuff. So it was like there was a bunch of people who loved it and got it, and there was a bunch of people who thought it was like a racist stereotype. And I was like, I subtweeted, I was like, I call it a stimmy, and that's exactly what I'm doing with mine. But when you're on the internet, people make it whatever they want to make it about, and it's about them. If they can make it about them, they'll make it about them because this is content for them,
Yeah,
right?
this is something to run with.
They found something wrong, and then all these people made it content to promote themselves.
That's exactly what happens. Is you start to notice it's getting passed around to very specific people. It's not all nurses.
Yeah. By the way, I can't wait till you get really sick and the nurses just let you die.
Oh,
They're like, Joe
do
DeRosa?
you think I didn't
Is
get
he-
that message a
Yeah,
million
yeah.
times? I'm like, I'm getting death threats from nurses? What the fuck is going on
Yeah,
here?
because you guys are such great people.
That they'll review bomb a restaurant and not affect me,
And
the owner.
let you die
affect-
because of a fucking stand-up bit.
And by the way, not affect me, the owner of the restaurant, potentially affect a young staff that depends on tips.
Yeah. Also,
That's who the ratings affect.
also
You
a
know?
rich investor who's probably less known.
Well, no. He's
Who's probably going, Joey, you got to calm down a little bit, okay? I have this image here, okay? Like, I got this deal. You're going crazy. Just calm it down a little bit.
I get the joke. I didn't get it at first. Sorry.
But anyway, I'm gonna get hate mail from him. Don't do that. Don't make fun. Can anyone take a fucking joke anymore?
No.
Have you guys done a Taste Buds, Chrissy or Giannis yet?
No, but they did Derosa or DeStefano, and I lost. Q and Sal, Q guest hosted for me, and they did Derosa versus DeStefano, and I
About
lost.
who's better?
Just that's it. Pick one.
Oh, pick one.
And I lost by a lot. But anyway, but that's the thing, dude, is like you start to notice, okay, this is getting passed around. Because you can't help but look at a few of the profiles and you go, everybody that's messaging me has a private profile. They have the job thing in the bio. And then I'm like, oh wait, this nursing group founded and went. So it's like you said, it's entertainment for them. And I don't say this when I say them, I don't mean the nurses specifically. I have been trolled at this point in my career heavily, viciously trolled by the alt-right, the far left, or the Hollywood left, I should say.
What was that for?
The left?
Yeah.
When Trump won, I said something. I can't remember what the tweet
Wall's not that bad of an idea. Signed, Joe DeRosa.
I said something about how I didn't vote
Oh,
because
I remember that.
and all these celebrities who I don't need to name came after me.
Mark Ruffalo.
Not Mark Ruffalo. No, thank God.
Yeah.
Uh,
But he was probably behind the scenes pulling the strings.
and I say it all the time. Shout outs to Moshe Kasher and James Adomian. They were the two guys that stepped in and got my back in the whole thing. And that was really big of them to do.
Wait, that's really
Because it wasn't easy.
It's really funny that you not voting triggered that.
Well, triggers the far
Yeah.
left. And then when I said to them, but I wouldn't have voted, I
Right.
go, so let me get this straight. You would rather me have participated and potentially voted for the guy you hate? And then they would be like, bye. And it's like, no, because you don't want participation. You want participation on the team you want.
Right.
Now, I wouldn't have voted for Trump, but that's not the point. The point is you're not saying vote. You're saying vote for my person.
Right.
So
And furthermore, let me just add to that. Let me piggyback off that. Let me give it a little addendum if I can.
Yeah.
You're a comedian. People should be happy that they have comedians who don't vote, who don't take sides. I get this all the time too. People want to know whether I'm left or right because I talk so much and I make so much fun of what's going on in the news and political stuff. And they want to know, it's like, can I just be a comic? Can I make fun? That's how you know our society right now is a little infirm, is because everyone is so interested to know what your political stance is as a comedian. Comedians are not here to have a political stance. We are here to make fun and keep everybody
But
honest.
people have lost sight of that. And Hannah Gadsby, bless her heart, she was the turning point. And I honestly, I had no issue with Hannah Gadsby as an artist until she started telling everybody what to do. That's when I started to be like, you know what? Shut the fuck up, Hannah. All right, you did your thing. I backed you through and not that she needs my backing, but my point is I was one of the fucking meathead guys that actually stood up for her when other comics were trashing her and her whatever. And I think that means something in our industry, because people talk and we talk to one another and we influence one another and whatever. But whatever, it's a small, tiny thing. But when she started saying, here's how you do this, that was when all of a sudden it was like, oh, that's what comedy's supposed to be.
Well, I think she was smart because what's underneath all this is commerce, right? Like most things American. What people care about is money. So what has happened is the mainstream outlets have lost eyeballs. So in order to garner some back, they made it a moral crusade. Being like, if you watch that other stuff that's independent on your phone that everyone's watching,
Right.
you are bad.
Well,
And
yeah.
if you watch this, you're morally good.
I had a bit about this that was not funny because it was just too...
Because it was told by you?
Yeah. It was too textbooky or whatever. But I had a bit about this, that they have economized ethics.
Yeah.
Your morals are commerce now.
Yeah.
So it's sitting in the room for the job interview. They are asking you outside of your skill set what your political persuasions are, what your stance on this is, what your stance on that is. So we're all basically stockbrokers trading on behalf of our own corporations now. And that stock is it's fading away finally. It's finally fading away. You see a lot of God bless Netflix, who, by the way, she turned around and
Wait, by the way, look at this poster. It seems hilarious. I can't wait to see this brand new stand-up show called Body of Work, where she's dressed as a traumatized geisha girl who looks like she's been kidnapped by Korean aristocracy and forced to be a geisha showgirl.
Yeah.
By the way, she turned around and spit right back on Netflix after they made her a celebrity.
The same way Tig Notaro did Louis C.K.
Okay, yeah, so fine. But what kills me with this, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to say, I no longer appreciate this organization I was a part of. Mm-hmm. But what kills me with every one of these fucking celebrities, mainly the comics, that go out there after years and years of something and say, oh my God, I need to take a stand against the thing that I was a part of. One thing they don't do, they don't give that fucking blood money back, do they?
No.
You never see that. There was one group of people in the entire entertainment industry that I saw give the money back, and they were the people in the Woody Allen movies. And you know why? Because that money wasn't shit. And none of them did it for the fucking money.
Yeah.
Every person in a Woody Allen movie gets the same fucking call. You're not going to make anything, but you're going to be in the fucking cool kids club.
Right.
And that's why you did those movies. Yeah. People wanted to work with Woody Allen. Those movies have a $2 million budget. Yeah. You're not making dick, okay? So, and everybody made such a big deal. Look at me, I'm giving my Woody Allen money
And
back.
I'm sure some of them didn't give it back. They just said they did.
Right. So
we know that story from Johnny Depp's ex. Yeah.
So my point is like, but whatever. I don't want to get hung up on Hannah, but she is certainly the catalyst for that economy of ethics thing that was happening. But you're starting to see it swing back, and I think the major swing back is
taste buds.
Taste buds. No, it was the president of Netflix saying, "I'm sorry, if you're going to be offended by things, maybe you shouldn't work here."
Right.
That was a huge moment.
He's Greek, by the way. You'd figure maybe he would take a peek. Maybe take a peek. He's a Greek guy. Yeah, he did that because
I saw your special. Well, I think what did it air on DoorDash?
It aired on my special aired on Facebook. It aired on MySpace. No, it's a YouTube special.
It's great.
Yeah,
the clips I saw are great. I got to sit down and watch the whole thing, but it's very fun. By the way, I meant to compliment you back at the very beginning. I've always very much enjoyed your comedy for the same reasons you said.
Your compliment's not going to be clipped and put up. Don't worry, like Louis was. So
all right, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean that guy's saying anything
right now. I mean, the guy will say anything. I mean, Jesus Christ. He even said he liked my comedy. I mean, fucking
he's saying anything to stay in the good graces.
Just to seem like a good guy. Well, we know he's not.
Did you see that movie? It's awesome.
I did see it.
I went to the premiere. It was awesome. I saw Louis after, and I was like, dude, I fucking cried at the end.
Really?
I cried at the end. It hit me so hard. The thing about the mom and like, I just related to it. But
it's a great movie. Louis one of the best comedians of all time.
Yeah.
As far as pound for pound funny,
can't.
Louis one of the best, if not the funniest. Like just like you're gonna laugh,
dude. He came out of being the most disgraced celebrity of the Me Too thing, right? With one of the funniest specials I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Won a Grammy.
And then that was the follow-up that won the Grammy. And then wins the Grammy on the second one. That one he did where he just put it out himself. I think both he just put out himself. But the first one back, I think it wasn't Sorry. It was called. What was the one before Sorry? Or was it called Sorry?
In any event, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Sincerely. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, then Sincerely, then Sorry. I mean, Louis one of the great stand-up comedians of all time. Yeah. That era, they'll probably be the last ones. Because stand-up is definitely changed as far as like what people think stand-up is, what people think a special is, what people gets people's attention.
But here's why I disagree with that. Now, why I think it's swinging back. It's just going to swing back in a different way. Shane Gillis, look at Shane, dude. Shane put out a special. It's up to 6.5 million hits. He put it out himself. He is every bit of the hilarious and traditional. Fucking raw. He's like Louis in that same school.
He's very talented. Yeah, very funny.
And that he got support. He trended on Twitter yesterday because SNL posted who should we have host next, and everybody wrote Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
well, Shane's unique because he got popular. He's very funny, and his special's very funny. He's an incredible comic, but he kind of got famous in the new way. And that's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying back in a different way.
Well, it's swinging back in a different way. But then also for every Shane Gillis or us guys who are trained stand-ups, there's a bunch of other guys throwing clips up that are getting 1 million views that are gonna be doing shows on weekends we used to do, sharing at least time.
But
it's all changed.
But here's the thing.
It's opened up.
I truly mean this with it. God bless. I don't say that out of any animosity. I really mean that's what it is. As much as I could criticize Hannah Gatsby for what her stance is, and as much as I don't agree with it, I have no ill will towards her or the fact that people want to see that now. God bless. Like, if that's what it is, that's what it is. I say to other guys all the time, a lot of comics in New York in particular will complain about the scene at the club now. This club sucks now. That club sucks now. It's not as fun as it used to be. Now it's this. Oh, my God. Why aren't the lineups as good? And I've said every time I'm in the conversation, guys, it's time to move on. It is their turn. That is what the scene is. And sitting around and bitching about that will get you absolutely nowhere. So go out and find a new avenue.
And being at a comedy club will get you absolutely nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So find a new avenue
Yeah.
for your art.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm taking my new hour.
Yeah.
And well, I don't want to say what I'm doing with it, but I'm doing something different with it that I want to do with it.
Do what you want to do. Yeah, there's no common experience anymore. There's a bunch of niche followings. Everyone has a niche following. Everyone is niche. One scene has nothing to do with the other. I felt that at JFL this year, and I didn't want to have anything to do with anyone else, and we don't have anything in common anymore. We don't see each other as colleagues anymore. It's completely
How
fractured.
was JFL?
It's
Yeah.
fractured. It's fractured, and everyone's living under in that organization. I feel like everyone's living under a fear of sort of being canceled. This happened to a few people in that organization, as we know, the top and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it's fractured. There's no. It's different. I'll meet a comic and be like, oh, we're in totally different worlds, and those worlds will never come back together. And the people who go to your show will like your thing, and the people who go to my show will like my thing. I'll be able to go to your show and do well. You won't be able to come to mine and do well. But that's because I'm a professional, experienced comedian who's been doing it for a long time. But there's this new thing where people just talk to the people who they have things in common with, and that makes those people happy, and that's what it is.
I mean,
And that just speaks to the internet.
I have no interest in politicking around with. I'm not. I like young comics, and like I'm down. I love trying to help them if I can in any way, or having them on shows and getting to see them and whatever. Like, I don't mean that, but I have no interest anymore in bleeding into that mixture of people. Like,
me neither.
Like at a JFL type of thing. I mean, I would do it. If they ask me again, I'll do it. I'll go back. I haven't been there in a long time. But that concept of like the scene and the mix and all that bullshit, I mean, it went nowhere good. It made some people who were very, lucky, very wealthy. And it's all bullshit. It's but this is the thing I was trying to get to earlier. And we got sidetracked because it's a great conversation. But when you brought up the thing, when I said I don't just mean the nurses, I never finished the point. Every person, there's the problem in this country, and it is this country, because overseas they're doing fucking great. Everything is, in a lot of places.
I'm waiting.
But in this country, the problem is there is no shortage of groups of people to identify with. There are a lot of groups of people in this country. And the problem is that every one of those groups is made up primarily of average people. And the problem with that is the average person thinks that there is no greater pain than their pain. There is no greater struggle than their struggle. There is no greater preciousness than they are the most precious things on planet Earth. And I am talking, it doesn't matter if I've been trolled by the right, the left, bicyclists, nurses, fucking name it. They all act exactly the same. How dare you take a shot at my thing, because my thing is the truth that everybody needs to understand and accept. That's how the average American thinks. So why wouldn't comedy be the same thing? It's the same thing with comedians.
Right.
It's the same thing. These two very, very lovely nurses reached out to me and had a really nice conversation with me when all the bullshit was happening, to say whether or not we agreed with your joke is irrelevant. What's happening to you should not be happening. And we had a great fucking conversation, just talking. And I said, I'm not one of these comics that's out there going, I go, the comments that were pissing me off the most were people saying, oh, because you comedians and you all think. No, we don't all think. I don't think that. I am not for the comedy fraternity. I am not for any of that bullshit.
Are you for the sandwich owner fraternity?
Yes, that I support. I thought you'd have an opinion on this.
I'm listening to you.
Oh,
I'm not going to cut you off.
Okay.
I'm letting you just hang yourself.
I thought the joke,
No,
but honestly, I'm not.
No,
Fuck.
I'm joking. See, you're
Yeah.
taking it seriously now.
No.
I mean, I can't even
thought-
fucking be sarcastic with you.
No, it was funny. I thought your joke was you saying this is boring me.
No. No, that's the truth, not a joke.
But
no, that's a joke.
I'm not fuck anybody's fraternity. No group speaks for me, and I speak for no group. I am a fucking individual who, and I'm sorry to say it this way, but there's no other way to say it, who makes fucking art. That's what I'm here to fucking do. I could give a rat's fucking ass. They tried to unionize comedians, and comedians showed real fucking quick how individualistic they truly are when it comes to that. So I could give a shit. I really could. I don't care. So this whole thing, it's just like, I'm just so tired of it. I'm so tired of all this groupthink bullshit with everybody.
Well, it's very small now. The group think's very small because there's all these small groups. We're talking about this right now. The people who are watching this aren't in the business, and they often hate this shit. But we'll talk about it quickly. But we're talking about this amidst the backdrop of NBC cutting back their primetime programming, which will be the first. Will be seen as a moment in history where everyone else is going to follow suit because nobody's watching it anymore. I mean, TikTok gets more eyeballs, YouTube, everyone knows it, the streaming services, certain things, but not other things. There's so much content now. We live in a sea of content that the business has changed, and I think that these small groups that have formed and the fracturing that has happened is more an economic reality than it is a moral one. I think the moral one is the pitch. That's the sale. So that's why I don't take it seriously. So it's like,
I don't think I'm following you.
What I'm following you is Hannah Gatsby made a choice to stand out, to make money.
Sure.
To get, I'll do this.
Sure.
This is, it's the same reason why Pepsi would make a commercial with the Kardashian handing a Pepsi to a cop, and then they all dance.
Right.
It's morality as fashion.
Right.
That's what the kids are into now.
Yeah.
And so it's always a monetary choice.
Right.
And I think that the industry made that choice in order to strong arm you, however you want to put it, cajole you, market to you. Hey, we're here. If you want to be a good person, you do it here. You don't do it on the net where the place is swarming with alt-right supremacists and evil Trumpists and all this stuff. So they go, we do the good stuff here. We do the nice stuff here. So if I'm Hannah Gatsby, I'm going like, I'm already a lesbian, you know? I bet you if I saw, and I don't know this for a fact, but I'll just throw it out there. And if anyone knows anything from Australia who's watching, I bet you go back to Hannah Gatsby like 10 years ago. Right? I bet you it was totally different. I bet you it was a totally different type of Hannah Gatsby.
I don't think it barely goes back 10 years. She was only an 8-year comic when she broke.
Oh, well, I have to go back 4 years.
I might be wrong. I bet you
but
I can tell you this.
I bet you there's some Hannah Gatsby stuff that she would cancel herself for now.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. But I'll tell you this. I was at the Melbourne Comedy Festival 3 years before that Netflix thing popped. And it was interesting. A lot of Australian comics had a lot to say because who was winning all the awards? Hannah Gatsby at the festival. And a lot of comics were like, mate, she fucking cries on stage every night, man. They're going to give her the fucking awards, mate. You know, like they were like, and I was like, oh, I wonder who this lady is, like crying every night saying she's going to quit comedy every night. I was like, and even then I was like, well, isn't that weird that she says every night that she's going to quit? That she keeps doing the show the next night. They're like, yeah, it's fucking weird, you know, like. Yeah. And then like, who knew? I thought that was it. That was it. But then it went like global, and then 3 years later, 2 years later, whatever it was, pops up on Netflix. I'm like, holy shit, man! Yeah. Like that was well done.
Yeah.
But
and wait a second, are you telling me she hasn't quit yet? Are
No.
you telling me that kid who got his special on Ellen, who said he was dying, isn't dead?
I watched her
the
second.
fuck?
I watched her second special where she has to say at the beginning why she's doing another special.
I've decided not to quit because there's still opposition out there. There's still opposition out there.
She fluffs.
My work's not done.
She fluffs it off, buddy. She doesn't even hit it that hard. She's just kind of like, who knew that tragedy would be so popular? So here I am. Like, she kind of blows it where you're like, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. I thought we all cried with you.
Yeah.
But dude, you know, you're right. It is. It's morality is fashion. That's a great way of putting it. And let it be that. But I also think that there's the thing that lit that fuse. The internet amplified it, and the internet conditioned it, and the internet allowed us to take advantage of ourselves, take advantage of one another, and act in the worst way possible. Which any new technology, that's what we do with it. Nuclear fusion is a nuclear bomb. Guns become a thing to mass shootings. People drive cars into crowds of people. I mean, that's what people do. People are fucking sick.
Just with the gun example, I mean, you can't really bake a cake with a gun, so of course you're going to shoot people with it.
Well,
You're like,
it's
people use
supposed to be for self-defense.
Well, but
It's
you're shooting people.
right.
Yeah.
But my point is
Shooting bad guys.
it's
I get it.
misused.
Yeah.
Obviously. So I think so. The internet is just the latest and greatest version of that, right? And here's the thing. To me, there's something at the foundation. A lot of having children a few years back, having children became part of your to-do list as a suburban person in America. Your neighbor gets that truck, you get that truck. Your neighbor gets this house, you get that house. There's this cookie cutter suburbia thing.
Keeping up with the Joneses. It's an American thing.
Yeah, exactly. And
Which was a street in Savannah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And children
Is a street.
became part of that. Parents were not ready to be parents. They didn't know how to handle their kids. This thing that every person now that has a baby has a fucking au pair and like that's just part of it now. That's not when we were growing up. It was like you have a nanny. Good for you. You can afford that. That's just built into the cost now, dude.
Yeah.
So you don't have parents. I'm not saying if you have a nanny, you're not a parent. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that are using the nanny to not be parents. That's what I'm saying. Right. So there's a lot of people out there. They have these kids. They don't parent them. They're not ready to parent them. They're oh shit, what did I do? They pawn the fucking responsibility off on everybody. And what that eventually leads to is you being at the mercy of your child. If you do not have a bond with your child, if you are not parenting your child truly, you have no control over your child. Your child will rule your household. And when kids became old enough to become obsessed with the internet and the things that we've seen in the last 10 years come to fruition with social media, their parents all followed suit. Why? Because their children ruled the fucking roost and the parents wanted to be as cool and to be liked by the kids. So now we've got this epidemic on our hands where, and I say this in my new hour, it's not just the kids. That was what we used to say. The kids these days, it's not the kids these days, it's everybody. I've been trolled enough now to know it is not 18-year-old nurses trolling me. It is 53-year-old women trolling me. It is 62-year-old gun nuts, guys on the alt-right trolling me. It's 37-year-old Hollywood actors. It's not the fucking kids. It's people that wanted the kids to like them, and now they have roped themselves into this fucking thing. It is crazy.
Well, that
It
sounds
is
like
crazy
that
that
sounds
growing-
like everybody is trolling you.
What's that?
Maybe it's you.
Oh, probably. It might be me.
Maybe if it's just like it's 25 to 23, it's 40 to 45, it's 50 to 55,
Probably.
it's 60 to 65. It's every profession from A to Z. I'm going like, maybe it's you.
Probably.
Just kidding.
But no, I know you're kidding. But let me ask you this. Is there a fucking world where if you were not a comedian with a podcast that you'd be on fucking TikTok?
No.
As a guy in his 40s?
No.
Ain't no fucking way
No.
I'd be on there. I wouldn't even be on Instagram, dog. The only reason I'm on both is to promote my dumb fucking comedy because I have to.
Yeah. It's a good point. Yeah, and I don't want to discourage anyone from getting off those platforms because those are the people who watch our stuff.
Yeah.
And I promise you right now, I will never say anything bad about nurses. I think you guys are heroes, and you guys saved us from COVID, and you're the front lines. You're Marines.
They are heroes.
I don't salute the troops anymore. I salute the nurses.
No, listen, they're heroes. Trust me, they've told me.
No, they do a very difficult job.
Of
one
course
of the
they
most
do.
difficult.
They're fucking great. They're
Yeah.
amazing. It was a joke.
Yes, of
It
course
is
it was a
hard
joke.
job. Yeah.
We make fun of things. I had a joke where I made fun of police brutality that I'm actually working back into my act now because of this, because it's just funny. Where I was like, the cops are the only public servants that can't have a bad day at work because
very
somebody
funny.
dies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're not allowed to be like, Jesus Christ, man. Like,
Yeah.
I go, you fucking snap after a while. You know what I mean? And I always equate it to like a heckler. I'm
Yeah.
like, by the 5th time you say something, I want to beat your brains in with a
Right,
stick.
right.
And then the manager comes in and goes, what happened? And I go, I thought he had a gun.
Yeah.
I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
But it's like wild, man. You know. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
How's the sandwich shop doing? Joey
It's great.
Rose's
It's great.
in Manhattan.
I really want to thank the people who have supported us from day one and continue to, and the new supporters. The comedy community, it started there with comedians and fans of comedy, and it's continued to grow from there. And there's all kinds of people coming through now that may know it from comedy or may not. But it's going awesome. Each month is better than the last. We'll come up on a full year in December, and I can't believe it's working as well as we hoped it would. JoeyRosesNYC.com. Eight sandwiches for $8. We've got other sandwiches too. We always feature special sandwiches. They're a little more expensive, but the core menu, 8 sandwiches for $8
Wait,
a piece.
for the people who may get, it's 8 a piece, not 8 for 8. There's a lot of fat people out there just lick their lips.
Yeah.
Gonna have
Fat
a lot
poor
of
people
motorized
just got
scooters
excited.
coming to your
Yeah.
sandwich shop soon.
Say again?
Gonna have a lot of motorized scooters coming to you.
Yeah, you don't want that.
And then it's a full bar. It's the sign says Joey Rose's Sandwiches and Social Club. We just got written up in Eater, which was nuts.
I'm gonna go.
You should come.
Yeah,
through,
we're gonna
man.
go.
It's
Look,
wild.
if you're taking a trip
Please come through.
to New York, you got to stop by Joey Rose's, get yourself a sandwich. You got to check out Joey Rose's on all social media. Listen to his podcast, Taste Buds with Sal Volcano. His new podcast called
Down with Joe Derosa will be coming soon, and then we'll see you in hell with me and Patty Walsh. And then, when does this air?
this will air 2 or 3 weeks or something like that.
Okay, so then at that point I'll be. I think the next date I'm on is North Carolina at the Dead Crow.
Greg, I love that club.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great intimate room. It's going to be a lot of fun. JoeDerosaInfo.com for tickets and all that stuff. And I got a bunch of other dates through the fall. So
Go
I'll
see
be
Joey on the
seeing-
road. He's a really funny fucking comic. One of my faves. The jokes are always so good.
Thanks, buddy.
So good.
Thanks.
And where can they find your music? Are you still doing that?
Yeah, we're about to put a record out. My band Salsa Windfall is going to put a record out that's been on the shelf for a few years. But
Joey can sing. You don't want to take us out with a song.
no, but that'll be that. That's not me though. That music album, The Voice I Can't Ignore, that's another guy named Joe DeRosa, and it's his music record. But it's not me.
But that is You Let Me Down?
That's my The rest of the albums there are all my comedy albums.
Where's your music?
There's not much online at the moment. There's one record by Salsa Windfall out there, but we're putting a much better record
Go
out.
So
there.
Joe-
you're saying we can only get it on LimeWire.
Yeah, go Joe
Yeah.
DeRosa song.
No, you can just.
These yours?
No, these are my comedy tracks. It's coming. Music's
Well,
coming.
there's got to be something online of you singing a rock song.
There is.
What is it called?
my Salsa Windfall has a record on Apple Music,
Yeah, Salsa Windfall.
but it's not rock.
That's
it's
not how you spell salsa, but it's a Jesse's way. Slasa.
Close enough.
Yeah. Slausa Winsall.
Yeah, but I don't really like this record. I like the one we have.
Well,
coming
I'll be
out.
the judge of that.
So I don't
Throw
like
it up and what's taking us out. This is your moment of
My
zen.
Fair Devil of the Mist. That's funny.
Oh, this one.
Yeah,
Oops, sorry.
I'm sweating my nuts off, dude. I gotta go. Is it over?
It's over. It's over, yeah.
all right.
But we just get this is the last second. I know you don't want to stick around for this.
I don't really.
That's why I wanted to do it.
This is an old 4-track recording. I don't even know how this made it online. Yeah, we did a lot of stuff with Casios, and it's kind of like Ween, like old Ween. If you're listening to Ween, or
You know who that is Ween?
Weenie?
Yeah.
all right, I can't sit here.
That's why I did it. But you're going to get mad at me for putting it on? It's on the internet. Yeah. It's Joe Derosa, everybody. We'll see you next time. Remember, nurses are heroes. Good night. Guys, want to give a small business shout out to freaking Cold Spring Water. That is freakingcoldspringwater.com. Go there right now. Buy yourself a whole case for your house, your office, whatever. No plastic, stays freaking cold, and it's recyclable. It is the water company when it comes to premium water. Also, want to give a shout out to our friends over at brooklyncannery.com. A little shout of Jared right there, drinking the key lime.
Touch a jalapeno.
It's
Touch a jalapeno.
so good. brooklyncannery.com. My cousin just ordered these. She ordered a whole case. Replace your soda cravings with something a lot healthier. All natural, low calorie, no added sugar, and sweetened with monk fruit and stevia and all types of natural sweeteners. So go to brooklyncannery.com, promo code Yannis Pappas for 15% off your next order. That's a good little discount. Yannis Pappas for 15% off. You can take the ginger beer, make your Moscow Mules. You're having a party. Guess what? Order a case of these. Have these in the fridge. I have my full basement fridge is full of Brooklyn Cannery. brooklyncannery.com. Nicola Ragusa, OCNYI.com, or call 646-543-9474 to get LASIK if you live in the New York area, or you can drive there in Astoria, Queens. Give them a call, mention my name, and get 10% off your LASIK. Eventually, I'm going to do it. I'll just go to him. Because when my eyes go, like when I need reading glasses, I'm just going to get LASIK. Longshore Coffee, I had a cup this morning. Delicious premium coffee. Located in Providence, Rhode Island. They ship anywhere in the country or anywhere. Longshorecoffee.com. Use the promo code FUMES to get 15% off your order. Pick the coffee you like. You like it strong. You like it, whatever it is. They got all types of different blends. Go right now. And we are also brought to you by Nate Linder, natelinder.com, your social media managing guru, helping home service companies, e-commerce companies, B2B companies drive more sales at the lowest possible price. It's time to start making money online. natelinder.com. Chris Minetti, 215-750-3730 to cash your check in South Jersey or Philly. Okay, the IRS cannot track it unless they do. Aaron Lee for the free.art, a brilliant site for music in Hawaii. Go check out the bands. Go check out the local artists. Go check out the shows. It's a fun website to peruse, for the free.art. And then, of course, we got 305 PLP Media Services. They do videography, post-production, creative services. They won't do weddings. Okay? I'll just go with what they want. No weddings. info@305plp.com, or you can text or call 786-548-2274. Check them out on vimeo.com/305plp. Check them out if you want to shoot a video, you want anybody doing your videos, your content, and you're in the South Florida area, 305plp. And exclusiveautoshipping.com. You're moving your car anywhere in the world. Get a free quote from our boy Jared at exclusiveautoshipping.com.
It's been a